So, I have a thought as to why God loved David so much. Hi, guys. My name is Akira Krama, and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Recently, I felt quite troubled in my spirit, and so God led me to read Psalm 56. So, in Psalm 56, David was talking about challenges that he was going through, how his enemies were rising up against him. In it, he spoke about his fears, but in the midst of his fears, he still boldly declared how much he trusted God and he believed that God will come through for him. Now, two particular verses in Psalm 56 stood out to me, and I'm going to share it with you, of course. In Psalm 56, verse 3 to 4, it says, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. In God, whose word I praise, in God I trust, I am not afraid. What can mere mortals do to me?" Then we skip over to verse 10 and 11, and he says, "In God whose word I praise, in the Lord whose word I praise, in God I trust, and am not afraid. What can man do to me?" Remember back in literature class, I particularly loved poetry, by the way. And they always used to tell us that when you see repetition take place in a poem, essentially the poet is trying to emphasize on an idea or a thought. So I found it intriguing that what David said in verse 3 and 4, he repeated the same thing in verse 10 and 11. Essentially, David acknowledges that he has a fear and decides that that fear is a feeling that he's not meant to carry. So instead of carrying that fear, he gives it to God and he tells God that I have put my trust in you. David has to keep talking to himself, keep telling himself that he trusts God, he is not afraid. The emphasis is to stir up his faith, to build up his faith, and to remove all doubts and to remove all double mindedness and allow his mind to be stable, settled, and focused on God. Yes, God knows that we will experience moments where we are scared, moments where we are fearful. But in the midst of that fear, He is not saying that put the fear somewhere and then come to me. He's saying, come to me with your fears, leave it at the altar. And by the time you are leaving my presence, I would have placed a seed of trust and faith in your heart. And how does that seed of trust and faith come into your heart? It comes through meditation on the word of God. I believe that the reason why God loved David so much